Situated at the northernmost tip of Sri Lanka, Jaffna resembles an idyllic coastal town, surrounded by beautiful lagoons, tranquil beaches and swaying palm trees. Something you would find in a Lonely Planet guidebook, but without the usual hordes of tourists. 50 years ago, Jaffna was a much different story. It was the second highest populated city in Sri Lanka, after the capital Colombo. It held a highly educated workforce and was a centre of commerce and culture for the largest minority group in Sri Lanka, the Tamil people. Jaffna was tipped to become the modern-day Singapore. Singapore at this time already had a large Sri Lankan Tamil population working there, in the civil service area. In fact, one of the founding fathers of Singapore was from Jaffna. However, the tales of these two cities took vastly different paths. This is what the Civil War did. It stripped away the potential Jaffna had and reduced it to the coastal town that it is today. As a tourist, there are a few things that reveal Jaffna's rich past. There is the Jaffna Fort, built by the Portuguese in 1618. It's a reflection of its early colonial history, where the Portuguese and the Dutch were vying for this strategic outpost. Today it is occupied by the Sri Lankan Navy. There is also the Jaffna Library. It is the pride of the local people. It had a lot of cultural significance, containing manuscripts that documented Jaffna's ancient past, knowledge that tied strongly to the identity of the Sri Lankan Tamil people. However, it was tragically burnt down as a result of ethnic tension in the area in 1981. And there are many ancient temples, over 100 scattered across the region, dedicated to different gods and goddesses that help connect to an older time when all the people of Sri Lanka shared a common ancestor from India. This region served as a battleground for a 30-year civil war that forced many Sri Lankan Tamils to flee for their lives. Now scattered across the globe, the Sri Lankan Tamil diaspora make up 25% of the Sri Lankan Tamil population, many of which are from Jaffna. The visitors that do come to Jaffna are usually members of the diaspora, coming to find a connection to their past, visiting the old streets they used to walk in, finding their old homes they grew up in as a child, seeing the old temples they used to pray at, memories of who they were before they were forced to leave. With the end of the civil war in 2009 between the Sri Lankan government and the Liberation Tamil Tigers, travel restrictions to the area had been slowly lifted, and a slow influx of development had started to trickle through. And herein lies a unique opportunity for Jaffna, to redefine itself from the war-ravaged cultural homeland of the Sri Lankan Tamils, to be instead a beacon of its former self, with a strong cultural identity that is unique to Jaffna. But as I walk around Jaffna, I see these opportunities slowly slipping away. The architecture and the infrastructure that could help define Jaffna and lay the foundation for a new cultural identity is making way for cheap glass and concrete blocks that you would find in any developing city. With the lack of development over the last 30 years, Jaffna is currently a blank slate. There is a possibility to incorporate in the rebuilding of Jaffna its ancient past of beautiful Hindu architecture with its intricate details and vibrant images, all based on tradition centuries old. There's also the colonial past of the old European buildings that had been damaged in the war, with their clean facades and simple shapes. Then there are the more modern examples that were beginning to show a unique Jaffnan style, a style that was cut short by the war. But the real potential lay with the Tamil diaspora, to utilise their experience and exposures to other cultures and ideas. Things like sustainable construction, modern city planning, digital commerce and infrastructure could all be utilised. This diverse skill set and knowledge is an invaluable asset for any developing city. The diaspora also have the capital and are able to microfinance development, helping mitigate any government corruption while focusing on the needs of the local populace. And in this melting pot of rich cultures from all over the world, you'd expect something extraordinary to evolve that would be unique to Jaffna. However, with all this potential to guide the future of Jaffna, the Tamil diaspora need not forget that this is not for them. This is for the people who were unable to leave, who had to endure a 30-year civil war. This development is for the people of the other Tamil areas, who will benefit from the flow-on effect of economic prosperity in the region. And maybe it is the wish of the local population to develop as quickly as possible, to give them the first real hope in a very long time, to give them a reason to stay and work on building a future for themselves. But in the mad rush to develop Jaffna, let it not be without a purpose or a plan, whatever that may be. Another civil war is the last thing anyone wants. It is important that the Sri Lankan government provide their full support and allow the development to occur in these regions. There is now a real possibility for the creation of a self-sufficient people with a strong cultural identity, so that a rifle never need to be used again.